thing. You know, fans, when you're talking about buying tickets to an event, especially sporting events, isn't it the fear of like, am I going to get my tickets? Like, I just freaking paid money to this dude, and they went through this system, you know, like a StubHub or something else. Like, and you're always nervous. Like, what happens? Like, you just sent money out. You never met the person. There wasn't a handshake. Here's the money. Thank you. All right. Enjoy yourself. Here's your tickets. Right. It's not like that. Right. You're always worried about it. Well, there's something brand new. It's been out for a little bit now, and it's taken storm in North America itself. I'm going to throw it on the screen. This is the logo. You can look it up, get the app for it. P2PTix right there. Safe and secure, guaranteed. You're guaranteed to get your tickets. Guaranteed. It's supported and secure. The company will take care of it. P2PTix. They'll take care of it if something goes wrong. Okay. And that, I don't know who else guarantees that, folks. Right. Here's something, you know, this is what it will appear. You'll get your tickets. This is this is for the Cardinals Giants game. That's up, you know, week 2. Right. There it is. I don't know if that's 1 ticket or 2 tickets. Who cares? Somebody bought tickets to the Giants Cardinal games for this Sunday. And it is a basic screen of what happens. Okay. You just fill it out like normal stuff. You make the connection itself, but it's secure. And not only is it secure, just guaranteed itself. Okay. You don't have to worry about going after the guy who took your money or the lady who took your money. Okay. Or the dog, who knows. Right. But that's bringing somebody who knows all about it, who created it. The president of P2PTix is Dave Hoffman. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, Cornelius. How are you? It's a great show as always. I love your rants.
All right. So we livened it up. But this is a big one too, because I'm tired of, I've been ripped off once before, right? When you purchase something online, right? You got nobody in front of you. It's always the biggest fear, right? And, but you trust the StubHubs and the other things out there, or whatever exchange you're going through. But you created something because you had a real experience and you didn't want this to happen to other people. And you thought about this for a while, I understand, right? Explain more about where it began and why is it now?
All right. So I've been a Cardinals season ticket holder this is my 22nd year now. And over the last couple years, I've seen a lot of dedicated Cardinals fans attempting to sell their tickets to other Cardinals fans via Facebook fan pages or message boards or some way where one person interacts with another person. And there's a trust factor there. So I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people trying to sell tickets. I have seats in section this, row this, $100 a piece. You know, want to keep Cards fans in the seats. Well, shortly after a lot of those posts, you find other posts where people say, hey, does anybody know this person? I sent them the money on good faith that they were going to send me the tickets, and I never got the tickets, and I'm out the money. Or a person sells the same pair of tickets to 3 or 4 buyers. Nobody gets the tickets, and the seller collects all the money. So I thought there's got to be a way to allow these transactions to happen in a safe and secure way, where the buyer gets their tickets and the seller gets their money. And I came up with the idea for P2PTix. It's person-to-person tickets. It's an Arizona corporation. And the first thing that I want everybody to understand, this is not a listing site. You don't go to P2PTix.com and list tickets for sale. All of the buying and selling and negotiating takes place on other social media platforms. What happens is the seller opens an account, registers on P2PTix, and once the negotiations or the agreed upon price with the buyer, the seller goes in and enters the buyer's information, their phone number, their email address. At that time, the buyer is sent a notification that the tickets are theirs, and they log into their account, and they have a 6-digit code. They enter that code, and that connects the buyer and seller together. Everybody gets acknowledgments that this has been accomplished. At that point, the seller sends the tickets directly to the buyer. It doesn't go through a third party. The seller sends, and in the terms and conditions, it says they must be the original tickets from that seller's account. Goes directly to the buyer. When the buyer receives the tickets, they acknowledge receipt, and then the seller will enter into the payment process. Now, that's something that's a little bit different. In order to prevent fraud or to not create incentive for fraud, the seller doesn't get paid until 24 hours after the event. So if the tickets are bad, the seller gets reimbursed the price from P2PTix. I'm sorry, the buyer gets reimbursed the price from P2PTix, and then we go after the buyer to remedy the situation, to the seller, to remedy the situation for ourselves. Now, if a seller completes 5 transactions without any kind of issues or problems or bad tickets, then they will get a verified seller badge in their account. And at that point, they'll be able to be paid immediately upon completing a transaction. So it is a way for, I mean, Mark Davis of the Raiders came out last year and was complaining about the number of visiting team fans in his stadium.
Yes.
We experience that with the Cardinals all the time. That's because of the big national listing sites that allow people, and they're great. I mean, I've used them all the time. But for the person who wants to set, now there's one other quick thing. On those big sites, and this is from Forbes, so it's a valid stat, up to 40% of tickets that are purchased on those big listing sites are done so by algorithms and bots. So if you try to post 2 tickets to the Super Bowl on StubHub for half of what they're going for, StubHub will buy those tickets immediately. They'll never see the public eye, and then they'll be relisted at a going rate. That keeps the prices up on those sites, and it also makes sure that everybody's paying, in the same range. What P2PTix does is it allows people to say, you know what, I can't make the game this weekend. I don't need to make a fortune. I'm going to sell these tickets at face value. And they put it on their Facebook fan page, an Arizona Cardinals Facebook fan page. 5 people say, yeah, I'll take them. They make agreement with one person. They both go to the P2PTix app, complete the transaction. Everybody's happy. Everybody's safe. And the fees are only 7% to the buyer, 7% to the seller, which is about a third of what you pay on the big sites. So it's safe, it's secure. You're able to interact with another fan, keep fans in the seats, and hopefully everyone's happy.
Yes. One of those storylines too is even getting the right seat too. I mean, some people have been purchasing tickets and it's not even the right section. It's like there's a lot of things that can go wrong with all this too. So talk about the guaranteed more, because I know a lot of fans would be intrigued by that, because that's the fear.
Well, there's two components to that. The first is there is no incentive for a seller to send bad tickets, because if the buyer doesn't get into the event and raises a dispute in the app, we don't release the payment to the seller. So there would be no reason for them to try to sell bad tickets, to scam. The second thing is, in the event that something goes wrong and the buyer is unable to get into the event, the tickets turn out to be bad, then P2PTix reimburses the buyer for whatever they paid for the tickets, including fees. I mean, they're completely made whole financially. And then the responsibility is on P2PTix to deal with the seller and straighten that out. Now, if a seller does that, obviously the likelihood of us getting the money back from them is probably pretty slim, but they'll be permanently banned from the site. So we have taken every precaution. Now, scammers and dishonest people are very creative, and somebody will always try to find a way. But we think that we have taken as much of the risk out of this as possible, so that if you buy tickets through P2P from a seller that you don't know, who you found on a Facebook page or a fan message board, you have a trust factor there that the person's going to send you real tickets. Otherwise, they don't get paid. So that's the guarantee. You're not going to lose your money. Now, I can't say that we're going to be able to get you into the event. However, that is in the planning stages, where we have a call center that addresses that, but that's not going to be up for a while, if at all. We're going to see how this goes, and if there is a percentage of fraudulent tickets, well, then we'll deal with it. But you send fraudulent tickets, you don't get paid. There's no reason to do it.
Okay, so fees. I mean, there's a lot of fees when you buy tickets online. It's like I bought $100 ticket, but it's $175. Like, right. What just happened here? Like, it was $100, right? I mean, that's what people are looking at, is like a fee for that, and then a second fee, and then there's something else.
Yeah, and then there's a transaction fee, and there's I want to have a fee because I have to have a fee. This is just a flat 7%, minimum of $10. So that's whatever it is, $70-some ticket would be a minimum of $10, but it's actually per transaction. So it's a flat 7%. The buyer pays 7% on top of the price of the ticket. You buy a $100 ticket, you're charged $107. The seller is charged 7%. If they sell a $100 ticket, they get $93 for it. Okay. So it's a flat fee, no hidden, nothing. You know what it's going to cost.
I get you.
Now, one of the good things about that, the fees are low enough that you can ask a little bit higher price for the ticket, because you know the person's still going to be paying less money.
True.
At the end of the day, because they're only paying 7%. So,
and I think they'll figure that out too. I mean, they'll figure that out. I think the people get more ticked off on the extra fees on top of fees on top of fees. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I just missed going up to the window at a stadium and just buying it straight out that way and not worrying about anything. But we're lazy Americans now, right? So where are we buying? Where can this be? Where is it? Is it global?
Right now, it's North America. The company that built my app for me is in India, and they are very anxious to get this introduced to India for their professional cricket. We're also going to be expanding to Europe to cover the all of the European soccer leagues, Premier League, Bundesliga, the Spanish league. So any event that uses an electronic ticket, you can use P2PTix. It can be concerts. People can list their concert tickets on the fan page, on the artist's fan page. Do the same thing they would do on a team fan page. Interact with a fellow fan who they may not know, probably don't know. Make the agreement on the transaction. Then they both go to P2P and execute it, and the buyer gets the tickets, the seller gets the money, and everybody's happy.
All right. Dave Hoffman, president of P2PTix. You can get your tickets direct from the seller itself, another fan. Hey, you know what? If the Cardinals are tanking, or if they're just going to end up 0-8 at one point because they got a tough schedule, and then here comes like the Ravens or Seattle's coming in. I don't know, they got the Rams coming in. The Cowboys are coming. Hey, maybe you want to try to make a buck before, Cowboy fans are going to buy a ticket, right? I know what you're going to do, Cardinal fans. You're going to sell and say, hey, I'm going to regroup for next year and use money and save it for next season and buy my season tickets with it. You're being smart. You have a right to it. Go to P2PTix and get it. That's TIX, by the way. And we pop it on
the Android and iOS. So on the Google Play Store and also on the App Store.
Yeah, Apple. I downloaded it. I wanted to check it out. Awesome stuff. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's just as simple as everything you've done before buying things online. So it's all clear and good. And I appreciate it. Hey, Dave Hoffman, again, thank you so much and good luck with this. This is a new beginning for the fan. For the fan. It's about the people, man.
Thanks for the opportunity, Cornelius. I really appreciate it.
All right. There's Dave Hoffman, president of P2PTix. Take it easy, Dave. All right, so I'm going to push this because I know a lot of my friends who are fans and going to shows and concerts and things like that. They're always trying to sell off a ticket or two, and I got an extra ticket. There you go, folks. There you go. All right, and why not just be? This is like the unconditional love version of buying tickets because you're not going to get ripped. It's not a corporate thing going on. This is more closer and personal, right? The small 7% is going to just a fee for the service. That's it. It's not 3 different services on top of whoever in the third and the fourth person where everybody's hands in the cookie jar, right? That's all. That's what all they're doing to you. And you're paying like $75 above the ticket you just bought. Not at this, the new one here, P2PTix, Tix. It's